Hi guys, I'm Sonal and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you a chicken recipe and I'm also going to show you a variation. So I'm making a regular chicken recipe that we make very often at home, and I'm going to take a lot of it out for my husband, and then I'm going to keep some of it in and make a variation for me in which I will add the vegetables and a lot of other things so that we have two different kind of dishes, because he's going to be eating it with rice and I'm going to be eating it just as a keto meal. I'm just going to start off the recipe first and then talk about a few personal things that happened. I have my multi-pot heated. I'm going to add some olive oil. Here is the onion. So this is about 3 or 4 tablespoons. I'm going to add a little more because this is something that is always ready in my house. I've used two of the onion things, but I wanted to show you all the things that I have here. So I have some ginger garlic. I'm going to need a little more, but I'm still going to make do with whatever I have today because I have just not been in the mood to do anything more elaborate or think too much ahead of time. And I'm going to add salt to the onions so that it cooks quicker than regular. So here I have about 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm using sea salt. Sea salt is much more flavorful according to me. So it has a more of a umami flavor. You get the flavor of the salt a little more gradually, which is great. I'm adding my ginger garlic paste to this. I would normally allow the onions to cook a little longer. I'm a little distracted. So basically we lost our 13-year-old, almost 13-year-old dog 2 days ago. He contracted an infection which was not detected for the past 3 days. He was very quiet, especially not eating at all and not moving. And we were taking him from one doctor to the other, and this was right during the Diwali break. The main doctors were all on vacation. I wouldn't even say that it was any mistake of the junior doctors. So we got X-rays done, we got blood reports done, and we also got a ultrasound done. I'm going to add turmeric to my chicken. About a teaspoon of chili powder. And I'm going to cook. Either way, by the time they had the ultrasound done, they suspected an infection of leptospirosis. But before we could get the blood report done the next morning, that night itself, we lost him. It was extremely painful because he was in a lot of pain in his last hours, and he was absolutely fine even the week before that and happily playing. So we kind of saw the deterioration almost in a week's time, and suddenly to a point where he was not even eating, and that was his favorite thing to do. And a lot of the food that we made for him at home, the chicken and the vegetables, were all left the way they were. He didn't finish them. We landed up giving that away to other dogs. That is that. Anyway, so we are fine because he was a 13-year-old dog, but we wish he had a more painless death because in this disease, the liver and other organs are compromised. So the doctors refuse to give him painkillers, and that's the worst part of all of this. Anyway, life goes on. This is some kefir that I have, or normally I would add yogurt to this, but I have kefir at my house regularly, so I've started using kefir in place of yogurt. It's very similar. I'm also adding some tomato puree that I have. This is something that I make from boiling the tomatoes. Then we peel the skins off, get rid of the seeds, and then puree this, and which is what we freeze. And whenever we need it, I just grab one and defrost. So I'm going to put the lid on of the pressure cooker. Fine. I just wanted to show you guys, this is a soup that I made using bone broth. So I made bone broth using paya or trotters of goat. I've added broccoli puree to this. I've added 1 egg beaten into the boiling bone broth. I've also added mushroom pieces just because I had some sauteed mushrooms and I wanted to use everything off. It turned out pretty good. It's just got some turmeric and black pepper and salt. And you can make a light roux and also thicken it with that, and that would be nice. There is a bone broth recipe on my channel already, so you can check that out. Wanted to show you guys sprouted masoor. This is a bean, and I'm going to cook this without any water. So since my pressure cooker is going to be used either ways, I'm going to just drop this on top. Here is something that you put in your pot. I'm going to place that and then keep my beans on top, and then this is going to cook along with the meat, which is something you can do to save energy. It's very efficient. I will cook this on pressure for about 5 to 7 minutes, depending on how big your chicken is. My chicken wasn't too big, so I'm going to cook this for 7 minutes. Open the pressure cooker. In the meanwhile, we will talk about how to make bone broth. Okay, so here is the bone broth. So I hope you can see it. It's evening here, so the light isn't as good, but it's jelly-like, because you will cook this for about 2 hours in a pressure cooker, and all of the gelatin from the bones will come out, and it makes this delicious broth which is full of minerals and very nourishing to your bone health. This is something that is traditionally given to people who are recovering from any illness, or for mothers that are pregnant or breastfeeding, or younger kids, because it's not as easily available. You can make a bone broth using mutton or any other animal's bones. I have already shared a recipe with chicken bones, so go check that out. The recipe is absolutely the same. The only difference is that when you're using red meat bones or animal bones from goats, beef, lamb, or even pork, what you want to do is you want to take a bunch of water, boil it for 5 minutes along with the bones, and then get rid of that water. After that, you put in the fresh water, and then you put all of your seasonings and cook this in a pressure cooker for about 2 hours. Or if you don't have a pressure cooker, it needs to go on for anywhere from 12 to 24 hours. And finally, the broth that you get, once you put it in the refrigerator, it will be gelatinous like this, jelly-like. That's when you know it's cooked really well. But even if it is not that thick, it is seriously fine. Try to cook it as long as you can. The longer you cook, the better it is. Chicken is cooking. I just remembered that I need to put a little more of the ginger garlic paste. Since I had very little, I had decided that I'm going to add it later. So while my chicken is cooking, I'm going to prep my ginger garlic paste and come back. So I have a pretty golden Korean wok kind of thing, which they used to make soups. I'm going to make another recipe while my chicken is cooking. And I'm going to make a simple recipe. So about a tablespoon of olive oil, and to this we are adding the bitter gourd. So I'm making a recipe with bitter gourd and eggs. Polyphenol rich, protein rich breakfast recipe. So I have scraped the seeds as well as the peel of the bitter gourd as much as possible. You don't have to remove the whole thing. And I have a few bitter gourds which I have kept intact for another recipe. This burner isn't as good or strong as I would want it to be, and we are going to add some salt to this so that the salt softens everything up quickly. So about 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to take it to the other burner and cook it there, because that burner is better than this one. Our mealdy pot is ready. So these are our beans, and I'm going to add it to another soup some other day here. And here is our chicken. It's all looking pretty. Look at it. I'm going to transfer this into another pot, and I'm going to put some water into that. And then my part, I am going to add some vegetables. And I'm going to add a little bit of coconut milk to this to make a gravy, and then boil it a little bit in the microwave. Now to this I'm going to add some pak choy, which I have chopped already. So here is that. This is some dal with some spinach that I've cooked the previous time. I'm going to add this to our chicken so that it makes a filling soupy dish, putting a whole large spoon and a little more. Let me add some of the ginger garlic to this, and we're going to add more to our previous chicken. About 3 minutes. Let me set this aside. So it's almost like it will come to pressure, and I'm going to release it immediately. Here is some garam masala. I ran out of my regular coconut cream, so I'm going to use this one, which is also quite good. I try to read the labels when I buy these, because I want to make sure that it doesn't have too much of the thickeners and the additives. You can add a little more of water if you want, a little bit of coriander if you want, and a little water. Microwave quick. So even 30 seconds to 1 minute is enough. and my vegetable has wilted quite a bit. Let me show it to you. And then I'm going to add my egg. So this is like a garam masala. It has a blend of different spices, and that's the chicken. We have already added the salt, if you remember. Let's put the eggs in. You could have added a little bit of onions to this, which will give it that sweet taste. I didn't do that because I just, I just got lazy probably. If you want, you can add a little more of the oil. Okay. Let me plate all of this and then take a picture. Thanks everyone for watching, and although I'm not in the mood, those of you who have reached this point in the video, thank you so much for being there, supporting, always leaving me good comments, and I will see you in the next video. If you've liked this video, please click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and also click the notification bell which is right next to it to be notified every time that I add a new recipe. And thanks for watching. Bye.